Yo, what is going on, YouTube? I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Today we're checking out 9.4's newest god. I think it's Yu Huang. So I think it's something like that. But he's the Jade Emperor. Right there, the Jade Emperor. I'm so excited for him. Their cinematics
brand new addition to Smite
are superb. I'm pretty sure he has
Jade Emperor is often
different
seen as the
resource
supreme
management
sovereign,
than
the leader
mana.
of all of those gods.
I think I read something about that, which will be
definitely
cool.
something
Yeah, but if we're looking at him, how he's looking here, we
First the
definitely were
presentation, though.
inspired a lot by very traditional
This is the
Chinese emperors.
this looks like the
and how they
Huang
present
dragons
themselves.
too.
We did, and other like emperor status
cool.
items. For instance, one of the biggest.
Okay, so the resource
items that you'll
management
see
is
his
his
very
passive.
special crown, which is called Mian.
Okay.
It has
Does he
12
still use
beads
mana?
on it.
I like looking at the art at the
perfectly
beginning.
symbolizes
He
it,
looks like he's gonna have an
and that
escape
just
or
really
a
shows
dash
how
or
the
something on his
emperor
3.
is
His
just
2
ready
looks
to
like
go
a
to moment.
meditative state.
On the set, the centerpiece.
I love when
That's
like
so beautiful.
they give him
That
these
would be
walk
sick.
animations
That
that are
would
just
be
like
really sick.
That's
casual,
incredible.
Which
or
we
not
use in a few
casual,
gods, like, didn't really
but like
want him running.
he
It's
just
not
looks so
very
like focused.
emperor, like
Yeah.
the beads also
not
on his
worried.
crown are very magical and very uplifting with his abilities, inspiring to his teammates, and kind of a mage kit that rewards
Maybe
you for
buffs?
patience a little bit to
Yes,
kind
for
of
sure.
really dial into the meditation theme.
Buffs
of
to your
his
teammates?
lore. All right, well then let's see the kit.
Let's do it. Run the kit.
Ranged autos, no surprise.
That is so awesome.
Oh yeah.
God.
It's all coming together.
Fighting alongside with the dragon.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
many things happen. Yeah, right. The dragon's presence is
That was pretty cool.
incredible. All right, so many things happen there. Let's start to break it down. Just starting with the basic attack. Let's start right at the beginning.
Looks like
So the
fireballs.
basic attacks are pretty normal. He's actually manifesting his Dao into these like fiery, magical projectiles that he's shooting out. So there's not a whole lot.
That
going
doesn't
on with
affect
those,
the
but he's
passive.
actually- All right, so as you can see, they're right above his character portrait.
passive
he does
went up.
have this passive meter,
But he
and so
didn't
you
do
can
anything.
see that it's lighting up a little bit. We'll get into the specifics of what it does, but. You can see that Jade segment popped off on the side
Ooh.
there. That's
Yeah.
how you
So
know
if he
your
waits a little bit of
passive
time and
is
then
ready
does
to
damage,
go.
it stacks his
So Yu Huang's
passive.
passive is called Master
So his
of the
passive
Dao.
should be up right
And
now.
So how that works is you've got 12 segments in this passive meter.
Yeah.
Once you hit 6 segments, which you can gain and lose Dao by doing various things, your abilities and basic attacks become attuned. He becomes attuned to the Dao. So there's a lot of different effects that you'll
Or
see throughout
damage,
the kit
maybe?
that change whether or not you are attuned. And the first one of those effects has to do with his basic attacks. So if you are ever over 6 Dao, your basic attacks will chain once
Ooh.
to the nearest enemy, and they do reduced damage to that second enemy.
Ooh.
But it's pretty good for lane clear, pretty good
Yeah.
for jungle clear. It's just a nice little spicy thing to add to his basic attacks.
Wow.
And this happens whenever you're over 6 Dao.
That's cool.
And it does not cost any Dao to use these auto attacks.
Oh,
It's awesome that it works on both like enemy players.
a
and
little
also
change
on
to the
jungle
mid-camps.
camps. Do
There are
it.
2 ways to gain it through your passive, and then a couple of other ways throughout his kit. But the first way is you just get one every 15 seconds. So every 15 seconds, you will see
Okay.
and he will get 1 more Dao. The second way is if you take a look at the passive meter, there's a nice big Jade emblem in the middle. You can see it's glowing right now.
Yeah.
But if you hit someone or you are hit, it goes off. You only get 1 Dao though if you hit someone from out of combat. So if you're not fighting anyone for 3 seconds, you haven't hit or been hit within 3 seconds,
Okay.
you will get 1 more Dao.
so he does have
I'm
resource
sure that'll affect other
management
abilities.
outside of
Let's
mana.
get right into them with ability 1, Flames of the Phoenix.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting take on a poke tool. This is a brand new shape. Never seen this shape before.
Ooh.
It's got an X and a circle. So you can see here with this targeter, the first thing that's
Okay.
going to happen is where all those arrows are on that X,
Yeah.
you're going to have cinders spawn there. And those are going to be pretty nice pillars of point. They're going to all collide together in the center. And when that happens, there's a big explosion and then a field of fire right in that center circle
Okay.
area.
And the symbol of the phoenix.
And the Phoenix, I was about to say, pops up right in the center.
Yeah, so
That
that
does a
actually
lo-
lets
and
you
it
know when the
burns.
ability is attuned. So if you were to ever
Really?
get above 6 Dao, when you fire it, an enemy will know that it has been attuned when you see that Phoenix. So normally, no Phoenix attuned, there is a Phoenix in there.
Got
and
it.
to kind of talk a little bit more
Okay.
about how the damage is broken down on this one, if you get hit by the projectile of the cinders coming to the center, that's a little bit of damage. There's an explosion coming from the when
just
all
missed.
of them collide, and then there's a burn coming from that field of flames.
And if you're attuned, you'll also have your magical protections reduced.
Wow.
Yes, so
okay.
if you step into that explosion, the explosion damage is what is actually doing the protection reduction. If you are just in the burn and you don't get hit by that initial explosion, your protections are just the same.
So the
Got it,
explosion
yeah, and
shreds props.
It
Okay.
consumes your Dao to hit them with. That's awesome.
Yes, so every ability that does take Dao takes 6 Dao. So you'll always know that you can do at least 2 abilities if
Yeah.
you're at full.
I don't know if that's something
There
you
are, again,
need
still
to
more
actually,
ways
like,
to get
manage
back
that
Dao. So
hard.
if you happen to be weaving in basic attacks,
But
staying
maybe.
in and out of combat.
Maybe. I'm not too
doing
sure.
Those kind of actions. You
I guess it
can
kinda depends how much
get
it is,
to,
too.
You know,
If it's
3
40%.
abilities enhanced during a fight.
It matters.
Well, ability 2 is going to make
There we
you
go.
also want to be patient if you're going to want to get its full effects.
Well, let's get into ability 2, Dao Cultivation.
So in this one, this is
Cultivation.
really the biggest point where you can gain the most Dao at once. So Dao Cultivation is basically a charging ability, and the longer that you stay in it, the more Dao that you get up to a cap. So you can see there the targeter is grayed out, and once it gets colored in, that's when you've gotten your first
He can
Dao.
hold it.
But there's a lot of nice visual and audio sound effects that are going to be coming in to let you know when you've gained your cap of 6 Dao per ability cast. You can see actually in his passive meter that the slots start filling up red.
Yeah.
So that starts showing you how much Dao
Does
you
he have to
will
hit him with the
gain
red
when
part
you
in the middle?
fire it. You cannot get any Dao unless you fire it. So for instance, if you were to get canceled out of this, you wouldn't lose the cooldown, you wouldn't
Yeah.
lose the mana, you would just need to charge up again to get the full amount of Dao. But you can fire it early. You don't have to sit there and
Pretty
wait
cool.
for the Dao to gain all the way up to 6. You can fire it early. There
Well, you
is
don't even
a
have to
slight
hit
bit of
anyone.
reduced damage if you fire it too early though. So you want to make sure you're holding on to it for just the right amount of time before sending it off.
Yeah.
If you fire it before 1 second, you're going to get the reduction. If you wait the full 3 seconds, that's when you get all the Dao. Or you can just keep it charged and just kind of hold it for the right time.
Exactly.
And then this ability is going to do damage in the center narrow projectile area.
Okay.
Then the projectile itself, its rate
goes,
of
like,
energy
out and then
explodes
comes
out,
back.
causing a second effective damage in a wider area and rooting the gods in the area. So this is also what his primary.
So, like,
CC.
goes out and then
Yes,
damages.
he's got a slow on the center rectangle, and on the outside is
And then he
a
has
root.
a
So
root.
really, the slow is just there to help you guarantee the root. If you hit that really thin skill
Oh, a little-
set,
little bit
you
of
will
CC.
almost certainly guarantee the root unless they're on the very edge of the outer rectangle.
Yeah.
Pretty cool though.
And again, I love Jade as
You have like a
look,
2-1
it's
combo.
just so
The next ability, which we also we
This
kind
was
of
sick.
foreshadow as a unique a movement ability, is
Yeah.
very
Is he
different.
immune?
It has a very different feel, very different look. It handles very differently than pretty much anything we've done in Smite before.
yeah, and it's definitely
I'm
one
super
that stands
curious
out from
about
the
this
others.
ability.
That's ability 3, Celestial Flight. So let's see some Celestial Flight.
Yes, so in this ability, Yu Huang's actually going to be calling
Banishing
down,
himself, so he is
I guess
untargetable.
calling up the Pearl Dragon from beneath him.
Yeah.
And this use of the Pearl Dragon is actually really interesting as it ties into his lore, because there's a very popular story about the 4 dragons of the rivers in Chinese mythos and how they came to be. So this is like that origin story kind of mixed in here.
That is
So
cool.
the Pearl Dragon was really the first dragon to call upon the Emperor when the people
That
were
is cool.
thirsty, in need of water. There was a big drought. And so the Pearl Dragon went to the Jade Emperor and said, hey, you know, we need water for the people. And the Jade Emperor said, okay, well, I can get to that soon. I have a lot of other imperial duties that I have to get to.
But does
eventually
damage.
the dragons just went and did it themselves, and Yu Huang was not too pleased with them going over his imperial authority. So to punish them, he basically changed the 4 dragons into the 4 major Chinese rivers.
Huh. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Well,
so the one that we
one
have
of the
featured in the game is the Pearl Dragon of the Pearl River.
yeah.
And yeah, look at that. I mean, the Pearl Dragon coming out of the ground, lifting him straight on up and coming
Gives
on
cuckoo
down
vibes.
as well. So what you're seeing here is the attuned effect of this ability, where the Pearl Dragon actually comes back down with you and kind of swoops around there on the ground
That's so
and
cool.
knocks people away.
What this is actually a slow-moving self-banish and untargetability. So it's kind of
Is
like
it
a
an
juke
instant? Okay, so
more
it's
than
not
a leap.
instant.
You get a relatively long window of untargetability
That is cool.
and CC immunity, but you don't really gain that much extra distance or speed.
Yeah.
You cannot use this to go over walls either.
Curious how
but
far you can go.
Use it to escape player-made walls.
Yes.
And then upon
Not that
landing,
far.
it's going to deal bonus damage, just damage in that circle. And with the attuned effect, you're going to get damage and a knock.
And a knockup.
You can see that knockup right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And another small piece of control that's actually super cool about this ability is
He's got
if you're
6
up in
self-peel
the air,
then.
You're actually able to refire it by pressing the button again or by left clicking to go down faster. So you have complete control
That's
of
cool.
how much time you spend in the air, whether that's the max amount, whether that's the minimum amount, or somewhere in between. Whenever you need to get back down, you're going to be able to.
Yeah, that's awesome for
That's
for
cool.
both
I like that
control
ability.
And, you know, if you're using this offensively
makes him a
or
support right there.
defensively, right? 'Cause if you're trying to, you know, use some Dao, get that knock up, then you can really just rain down on your enemies. But
All
if
right,
you're like, all right,
so
I
this
gotta get
ult.
out of here, Odin just put
I'm
up
curious
a wall. You can just kind of
what it
glide
does.
right over. So that moves us, of course,
And-
to the ult, which I'm super excited about us getting a closer
let's see this
look
ult
at.
again.
This ult is called Dueling Dragons.
And that they do. When you use his ultimate ability, Yu Huang summons the Pearl Dragon once more, but he also creates a dragon out of his own Dao. So you'll see here how there's 2 different dragons showing up. The one that's next to him is made out of this beautiful Jade Emperor.
that's pretty cool.
It's sparkling, it's gorgeous.
That's
so
cool.
Our team absolutely knocked it out of the park with this thing. I am so impressed with how that visually looks. But yeah, you got your 2 dragon buddies, and you basically have a hinged line targeter. So how this works is the faraway dragon from you, the Pearl Dragon, doesn't actually move, but what you can do is you can aim the line in different directions, and yeah, just, I mean, look at that.
That's amazing.
That's so sick. He's scary,
He's
but
CC
he's
immune, so
also
he has
cool.
2
Like
CC
power
immune
stance.
abilities.
Yeah, right. The sparkling effect is incredible too. Just
I
that,
mean-
that shimmering.
The profile of the dragons too, like that is just awesome. And you can see here they're gonna crash together, and then a big explosion at the end.
I'm curious how
That's
much
cool. They kinda,
damage
like,
it is.
fade as they finish their
His
fight.
kit is
That's
pretty cool,
awesome.
but it
I
all
love
comes down
that.
to just like his
Yeah, so if
numbers
you're
and
hit with this ability
everything.
on either line, you will get pushed to the center.
That is I mean, overall, he looks really cool. A lot of it comes down to just like numbers usually for mages, unless they're like,
Apart, or you pull the lines too far apart, they do have
oh, they don't explode.
distance that each of them go, but you start pretty well within it. So if you want that extra explosion damage, you can have it, but you're not stuck to that
Yeah.
like straight line that you had.
You can
can
ult
always
and just
turn
walk
around,
away
move
if you
around,
wanted to.
Do whatever you need to do and make one really long line of push. if
And they
you
do
want
push a little bit, which is
to.
kind of cool.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, overall, he looks pretty cool. It all comes down to just the numbers for mages. His 2 is a pretty sick lane clear. His 1 is a pretty good lane clear too. Good camp clear. He's got good safety, which is good. I mean, I'm obviously not a mid laner, so I don't really know exactly what you need to be OP right now. But I mean, I think he looks pretty cool. There it is, a little look at Yu Huang. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys are excited for these this big patch on Tuesday the 19th. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. See you.